companies now in Britain are small and medium-sized enterprises, and that's how it's going to be. And I started as a freelancer. I was a professional musician. Then I worked in organizations for a long time. And I always felt a little kind of constrained by that. And there's something in me which is kind of kicks against the intuitive, and I go for the counterintuitive, usually. And I think freelancers do that. That's how they have to separate themselves out from the pack in some way, else they're not going to work. I'd like to start really by just telling the story of the CEO from a very well-known multinational corporation who was asked how many people worked for his company. And he said about half of them. And actually he was probably being a bit over-generous, because there are about 3 billion people who are employed around the world. And out of those 3 billion, there's a measly 13% who would say that they were engaged in their work.
I think that going open is probably one of the defining movements of the 21st century. We see it in all sorts of ways, whether it's Zappos.com and their approach to radical transparency, whether it's governments who are proselytizing for open government, or whether it's WikiLeaks making them go open, whether they want to or not, or open source. It's happening in all aspects of our lives. And I think there are kind of 3 significant implications. The first is, in my view, going open is irreversible. Secrets are now impossible to keep. Corporations can't keep secrets anymore. And that we've now got so much control over the way that we live our lives, we're not likely to hand that back. It would have to be taken from us. I think the second thing is that going open is starting to subvert the process of knowledge exploitation. That it used to be that you would need to know the value of the knowledge that you discovered and its application before you went public with it. But now, as Clay Shirky's described, you find out the value of it by going public with the knowledge, and you find out the application, and Google are a brilliant example of that. And the third thing, and this is very significant, I think, for your work, is that the answer isn't in anyone's head anymore. It's not even just in the room. The answer's probably in the network. We can actually realize the World Wide Web's original motto, which was, let's share what we know. I think it's so cute that the World Wide Web had a logo once, even if it was clearly designed by an academic. But we are at the point where I think we can share what we know. And critically, I think what we're seeing in terms of knowledge and our approach to knowledge is that it's no longer being seen as a kind of finite resource. You know, did you know that there's a right way and a wrong way to take off a Post-it note? No, I didn't either. If you peel off a Post-it note from left to right, and then stick it on something, it will lie flat. If you peel it from the bottom upwards and stick it on something, it does that. It curls up. Who knew? They should come with a bloody manual, these things.